Okay, I want you to forget literally everything you know about pirates. Seriously, toss the peg legs and parrots right out the window. Today's explainer is diving into history's ultimate corporate takeover. We're talking about Ching Shih, the absolute, undisputed CEO of the South China Sea.
80,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. At the absolute peak of her power, Ching Shih was commanding a maritime force of 80,000 heavily armed pirates. That's a fleet way bigger than most actual national navies of the time, all operating under one woman's strict command.
And here's the crazy part. Unlike all those famous male pirates who, met completely violent, gruesome ends, she totally flipped the script. She negotiated her own surrender, retired super wealthy, and actually lived to an old age. She beat the game entirely on her own terms and cashed out at the very top.
You see, her true genius wasn't just sword swinging, it was political unification. She was the ultimate consolidator. She took all these totally chaotic warring rival factions and basically forged them into a single, highly disciplined empire. It was essentially a hostile takeover.
Part 1. Rise to Supreme Fleet Commander. Let's look at how she actually pulled this off. Here is the timeline. 1801, she marries pirate commander Zheng Yi. Fast forward to 1805, and together they form this massive six-fleet confederation. In 1807, he suddenly dies, and she immediately consolidates total power for herself. And by 1810, she negotiates a masterful amnesty.
Now, back to that 1801 marriage, it wasn't exactly a romance. It was a hardcore corporate merger. She actually demanded a strict prenup, ensuring equal partnership and a full 50% control of the fleet from day one. I mean, talk about setting boundaries early, right?
And the results were just explosive. From roughly 400 junks in 1805, she scaled the whole operation up to 1,800 vessels by 1809. She was absolutely crushing the Qing naval forces.
Part 2. The Strict Pirate Code. So how do you keep 80,000 criminals in line? Structure and absolute discipline.
Disobedience, straight to beheading. Stealing from the fleet, severe punishment. Assaulting captives, immediate death. No warnings. These weren't just friendly suggestions. These were extreme, non-negotiable corporate policies that forced unparalleled order out of pure chaos.
Financially, the woman was an absolute genius. Every single piece of plunder had to go into a centralized public fund. By controlling the treasury and redistributing it strategically, she basically guaranteed absolute loyalty and dependency from her entire fleet.
All right, Part 3, Busting Ching Shih Myths. Let's separate the historical truth from the wild legends.
Historian Dian H. really did the work here, proving all those sensationalized Western myths totally wrong. The myth says she was a bloodthirsty, husband-murdering tyrant. But reality? Zheng Yi most likely just died in a storm, and Ching Shih actually ruled through brilliant, strategic alliance building as an administrator, not just raw violence.
She wasn't out there fighting hand-to-hand in daily battles. Actually, scratch that. She acted like a true CEO and delegated tactical command to highly capable lieutenants like Chung Po-sai. And she certainly didn't die in some obscure, forgotten way. She retired incredibly wealthy and even ran a successful gambling house.
Her success didn't just come from violence. It came from strategy, alliances, and negotiation. Her ultimate weapons literally weren't her cannons. They were logistics, intelligence, and a strict legal code. She simply outthought her enemies just as much as she outfought them.
Part 4. The Golden Parachute and Legacy. This is where we see her unprecedented exit strategy.
By 1810, she's facing mounting naval pressure from colonial and Qing forces. But instead of fighting a stubborn war of attrition, she reads the room. She uses intermediaries, leverages her massive military strength, and basically forces a negotiation for full amnesty.
24. That is the exact number of ships she was legally allowed to keep for herself. She secured all her wealth, completely avoided prosecution, and even managed to seamlessly integrate her former pirates straight into the Qing military. Just brilliant.
So what's the real takeaway for us today? Her triumphs offer some seriously timeless principles. Build strong coalitions. Enforce crystal clear, non-negotiable rules. Always prepare your position so you negotiate from absolute strength. And above all, know exactly when it's time to pivot. Ching Shih didn't just shatter gender roles. She totally defeated empires by enforcing absolute discipline and knowing exactly when to walk away with her winnings. So it really makes you wonder, what empires could you conquer if you did exactly the same?